Today we're doing the A to Z book challenge.
For A, our first question is the author that you've read the most books from.
Charles Dickens.
Nice.
Good old Charles.
Good old Charles. Charlie, as we like to call it.
Yes.
To be honest, it would probably be J.K. Rowling for me, and various pen names. Okay, best sequel ever.
A very tough one, but the first thing that comes to mind is the second and third book in the Cursebreaker series by Bridget Kemmerer.
The first book that came to mind for me was Speaker for the Dead, which is one of the books in the Ender's Game series. Currently reading.
I'm currently in the middle of several books. I know I'm reading a parenting book. I can't think of the name of it.
Okay. I am reading a book that I also can't think of the title, but it's about an American couple that bought a house and moved to Italy. Okay, drink of choice while reading.
Coffee. Always.
Tea.
Okay.
Here we are, our usual selves.
Yes.
E-reader or physical book?
It really depends on the season of life, but right now I would say physical book.
Yeah, I think generally I prefer physical book, but also life. Fictional character you probably would have dated in high school.
Oh my. Now I would want to say Gray from the Cursebreaker series, but with who I honestly was in high school, I would say possibly John Shivery from Little Dorrit by Dickens.
Probably Henry Tilney from Northanger Abbey.
Okay.
Pajamas. Glad you gave this book a chance.
I would say The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I didn't know what to expect, but when I read it, it was just very deep, very thought-provoking, and had a lot of great themes.
I would say Frankenstein, although I wasn't really given a choice because I read it in high school, but I really enjoyed it, and I did not think that I would enjoy it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hidden gem book.
I don't know technically that it's a hidden gem, but it's one of this author's not as well-known books, and that is The Hypnotist's Love Story by, I think her name is Leanne Moriarty. It's very good. Surprisingly good to me.
Okay. Also don't know if it is really a hidden gem, but I had never heard of this author before, and it was a marvelous book, A Gentleman in Moscow. Important moment in your reading life.
I would say probably a small series of moments in which I let myself start reading more genres outside the genres I normally read and discovering that there is so much more out there that's so good.
Probably one time a couple years ago when I went to the library and I was just like, I'm just going to look in random other sections, I guess kind of like you were saying, and like just kind of like grab books that look interesting and instead of like going where I would normally go.
Yeah.
So basically the same thing.
Okay, you can copy me, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, just finished.
Happy Place by Emily Henry.
The last book that I finished was Cards on the Table by Agatha Christie. Kinds of books you won't read.
Anything to do with children being harmed, I just can't do.
I would go with like horror, supernatural stuff. Longest book you've read.
Oh, I don't know specifically, but I know a couple of Charles Dickens are up there. Maybe Little Dorrit. I can't remember his longest.
I think for me, it would probably have to be whichever one is the longest Harry Potter book, or one of the like Aragon book series.
Oh yeah.
I think that Harry Potter, the longest Harry Potter is longer than that, but I'm not sure. One of those two.
Okay.
Major book hangover because of...
The kind that leaves you with a headache, but in a good way? What immediately comes to mind is A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I was very sad when I ended it. Also Heartbones by Colleen Hoover.
The Legacy series by Ellery Kane. Okay, number of bookcases you own.
Well, right now 2, but they're like super wide. It fills the entire closet. So 2 almost like library shelf things.
I guess I have like 4. No, 3. One book you have read multiple times.
Emily of New Moon by Lucy Maud Montgomery.
Any and all of the Chronicles of Narnia. Preferred place to read.
Anywhere.
On my bed. Oh, a quote that inspires you, gives you all the feels from a book you've read. I think probably the first thing that comes to mind is, I don't have the quote memorized, but one from The Horse and His Boy, where, oh wow, I don't even remember characters' names. The boy is walking along the mountain paths and he doesn't know that Aslan is walking with him.
Yeah, that's my favorite part from that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't find the quote, but there are some really good ones in Emily of New Moon about just inspiration and being true to yourself.
Reading regret.
The most recent reading regret was Elevation by Stephen King. I just didn't get it, and it was weird, and I gave it 1 star.
Just calling people out here. The Abominable Mr. Darcy by J. Don King. Real bad. Series you started and need to finish.
I think the only unfinished series that I can think of right now is, I think it's called the Inspector Gamache series by Louise Penny. I'm not sure if I'll finish it, but maybe someday.
The Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children series. 3 of your all-time favorite books.
Emily of New Moon. Little Dorrit. Oh gosh, it's way too hard to pick. There's way too many to pick a third. I don't know. I'll just go with 2 for right now.
Let's go for 2. The Last Battle. The Book Thief. And I'd probably go with The Gentleman in Moscow. Very excited for this release more than all the others.
There's not a specific one right now, but I am desperately hoping that Frederick Backman and Leanne Moriarty write something else because I will be reading it.
I'm gonna go with was very excited for this series. The Ink Black Heart, which is the Cormoran Strike series. Worst bookish habit.
Just the piles. I have a pile next to my bed, on the floor, on my nightstand, and on my shelf next to my bed.
I would say starting books and being tired and taking literal years to actually finish them.
You know.
Your latest book purchase.
Oh my gosh. I just got hard copy books that I bought were some parenting books.
Okay, the last book that I bought is Her Right to Learn.
Oh, that's super cool.
Malala Yousafzai. Okay, and our last one, the ZZZZ Snatcher book. Last book that kept you up way late.
It was probably Happy Place by Emily Henry, but also The Hypnotist's Love Story by Leanne Moriarty.
I think for me, it would probably be one of the other Cormoran Strike book series. Yeah, kept me up real late. We hope you enjoyed our Bookish survey and would love to hear anything that you would like to share about books that you're currently reading or books that you love or anything of the categories that jumped out at you. Oh gosh, I just
fell out of a chair almost.
No, I just dropped my phone.
Oh, okay. I already don't know the answer to the first question.
Great.
So that's going well. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, bye.
Look at us go.
Look at us go.